I don't like that sound, not one bit. Crunchiness, okay. Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I like to care for different plant species and to propagate them and rescue them here in my home and then document this experience for you here on YouTube for your entertainment and your knowledge. So if you're into that kind of videos, please do consider subscribing to my channel and send this video a like. In today's video, I'm going to be repotting a Ficus Elastica Burgundy. This was sold to me as a Ficus Elastica Black Knight. However, that species does not exist. I tried to Google it. I'm pretty sure this is just a very, very dark version of the Ficus Elastica, which is the Burgundy. So it's known for its like almost black leaves and it's really beautiful. And the care is pretty much the same as your Ficus Elastica. And what happened with this pot, I know a lot of you guys are looking at my Instagram and thinking that my dogs ran it over, but that's not true. My dogs are not that strong. This is caused by the wind. I got this plant when it was very, very small and it grew pretty fast, pretty big. And then, yeah, the wind just took the whole pot down and just crashed it. So I'm going to be repotting this guy today. I'm going to be separating them as well. Of course, I'm going to propagate it. I think it's time to start cutting this up. I've actually never propagated Ficus Elastica before, so this is going to be an experiment for me. You're going to witness my first time propagating this plant, but I've read a lot about it. I've dreamt about it. First of all, I'm going to walk through with you the care of this plant because that's important. With ficuses, they don't like to be moved. So when you bring it home, it's very likely that it will shed a few leaves. This is why it's actually advisable for you to bring back a baby plant. I got this plant when it was only like this high probably. So it did not do it did not have any stress or any issues with the leaves. However, they do also like really bright light, bright indirect and some direct sunlight. In nature, sometimes they can also acclimatize to live in full sun. So the more light you give it, the faster it'll grow. And one of the best way that you can gauge how much sun you should give it is to look at the nursery where you bought it from and look at the light level that it's been getting and try to replicate that a bit. And if you want to give it more light or less light, then you slowly acclimatize it by moving it slowly towards less light or towards more light. These plants can actually take low to medium light. They can survive in those. I've seen them outside of mall toilets. So yeah, they're very, very hardy plants. But again, you do need to acclimatize them. And of course, next we're going to talk about watering. The more light you give it, the more thirsty it will be. So adjust your watering according to the light level you're giving it. And also make sure that the potting mix is bone dry between watering. So you can do that by inserting a finger or you can use a moisture meter because this plant is prone to overwatering. And the sign of overwatering would be, sorry, I need to scratch this. Mosquito got my knees. One of the most clear indication of overwatering would be yellowing leaves, especially in the lower leaves. Sometimes yellowing leaves means that the leaf is just old and tired and it just wants to fall off. But if it's extreme cases where you're losing quite a few leaves and very rapidly, then you got a problem. It's usually a combination of overwatering, or it could be not enough light. Or the combination of the two of those. So when you have yellowing leaves, definitely do water less or give it a little bit more light than before. Other than that, the care is pretty simple. In my conditions, scale do like to attack it, so you just be on top of it. This plant didn't have any pests so far, thankfully. And as you can see from the potting mix here, it's in my general purpose potting mix, by the way, and it's doing really, really well. It drains really fast, and I water this almost every day because it lives outdoor in bright light. And it's also so many plants in one pot that it's very thirsty plant. So just keep that in mind. And I do fertilize this a little bit more than my tropical house plants. I find that they may be a little bit more hungry and thirsty at the same time. So yeah, that's my advice. Do not over fertilize them, though they may get burns on them. And a lot of you guys are misting them and getting fungal attacks and bacteria attacks because of the misting. So I would say that this plant and all the ficuses, including the Ficus lyrata here, they don't require a lot of humidity, so you don't really need to mist them, even if you're living in the northern or southern hemisphere. And they are a little bit prone to bacteria and fungal attack, and what causes them is, one, again, misting, and number two, it could be pests that brought about the disease. So if you see that, then definitely spray fungicide or antibacteria or neem oil on it and just clean off the leaves. They should do quite well. I guess that's all I need to say about the care. I'm going to go ahead and start repotting this, and propagating. I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna do yet, so I will just go along with this would be to take it out of the pot. Oh, that was easy. Okay. Okay, so next I'm gonna figure out if I can break this easily without damaging it too much. Can separate them. I'm gonna actually press it down a bit to loosen up this potting mix. It's really nice and tight in there. Give it a turn. I have a feeling I'll be able to break these apart. I may lose a lot of roots, but these guys actually recover pretty quickly. They grow roots pretty fast. Start teasing out the roots. You're free to go. I wasn't gonna do this video today. I know that I had this video in plan for the future because I wanted to do a Ficus Elastica care and propagation, but I guess a little palm there. I guess this is really moving me forward. And as you can see here, there are already a lot of aerial roots at the base of the plant. They're trying to find more potting mix to grip into. Ooh, this really helps. Okay, I'm shaking away the potting mix. Yeah, I found that Ficus elasticas, they don't really have a complex root system. They don't have a lot of roots, considering how big this plant can get. I've seen huge Ficus elasticas in a small bag of root ball. Looks really ridiculous. That's what they are. If one of the other ways that you can prevent overwatering them is to put them in smaller pots, tighter pots, because this means that they will dry out a little bit faster. And of course, terracotta pots would be your best friend when it comes to ficuses, because terracotta pots would dry up so fast and prevent, or not prevent, but it helps reduce the incidence of overwatering. Come on, come on! It's like riding a motorbike. Vroom, vroom. Bad joke. Sorry. Come on. Okay. Push, push. Ooh. Ooh, something bit me. Ooh, that hurt. Oh my god. Yeah, there was an insect. I don't know what it was. I hope it's not a spider. Ow. I can only imagine how much pain this plant is in right now. I'm so sorry, it'll be over soon. When I got this plant, it was very early in my plant game, and I did not know that I could actually branch it out. It would have been actually smarter to just have one tree in a pot and then just cut it off and let it branch out and become a bushy plant instead of putting 3 in one pot. That was pretty silly to do that. Okay. This one seems like it's going to come off pretty easily. I don't know. Oh, come on. Almost there. Woo, okay. Oh yay, we have a winner. Hello. Checking the roots, looks beautiful. I'm gonna put this on the floor. Sorry. Okay, now you two love birds. Come on. Come on. I don't like that sound. Not one bit. Crunchiness. Okay. Oh, okay. I think some of the roots were ended up here because this one is so big and that one has small roots, but it'll live, don't worry about it. Found a good sized terracotta pot. It is a little bit tight, but that's okay. Look at how cute this is. Again, this tree does not need a lot of space. It doesn't need a lot of a big pot to live in. And if I keep it in a tight pot, in a fast draining potting mix, as you can see, there's a lot of perlite in here. I can water this every day. And this is how I like to do to care for my plants. I like to water my plants every day when they're in fast draining potting mix and in good light. This is how they can grow really fast. Because I'm an overwaterer, I love watering plants, and I haven't figured out how to stop overwatering my plants. That's why I have to always put my plants into airy potting mix, fast draining, and terracotta. And actually, a lot of you guys that are DMing me with your questions about your plants, you guys are facing the same problem. So you guys are mostly overwatering your plants. So this is why it's better, especially for new plant parents, to use a faster draining solution for your plants so you're not overwatering it. If you are more used to having plants around and you have a busy schedule, maybe at the end of COVID, we're all back to work, we're going to be traveling around the world, holidaying, we can move them into a situation, maybe a plastic pot, and moving them indoors where they can be watered a lot less frequently. And actually for this plant, I'm going to be top dressing it with some pine bark because I want it to look good on the top. And also if I don't do that, when I water it, and I do water this plant really violently, the perlite is going to rise up. So when you have bark in there, it's going to prevent that. So this is done. All right, so this is the second plant. Look at all this potting mix I have. I may not even need to use fresh ones. I would even say that this pot is a little bit too big for the current root ball. It's wobbling a bit now, but as it grips into the potting mix and stabilizes, this plant will be less wobbly. So what I'm going to do is first rescue the parent plant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave, how greedy am I right now? I'm going to leave only 2 leaves. Snap. And watch for the bleeding sap, of course. It may irritate some of your skin. It may stain your furniture as well. So I'm going to pot this up in my general purpose potting mix. And this is the right size pot for it, I believe. It's a good thing that I went pot shopping recently, and I've got so many pots. I'm curious to see how many branches it's gonna give me. I think 2 or 3, because it's got so much roots in there that it's got a lot of energy, a lot of potential to push out new plant material. And I don't want to water this as frequently. I don't want to overwater it because it doesn't have a lot of leaves to transpire and to go through glutation for the whole photosynthesis process to take place. So this plant is going to need less water. For the remaining cuttings, I'm going to do some in water and some directly into potting mix. I believe the top cutting I'm going to use water because that's a more surefire way of rooting them. So yeah, the new leaf is going to come out of this apical bud. For the other cuttings, let me show you. It's bleeding all over the place. Okay. Like this one cutting over here, the new branch would show up somewhere along the node. So it's going to put out a new apical bud from there, and the roots are going to be from the bottom of this cutting. So that's the anatomy of a ficus cutting. Sticky. Yeah, I'm going to cut these leaves up, and then some of them I may do even 2 leaves just to see the main stem of just the petiole and the leaf. That's going to root for you, but it won't put out a new branch, so it's just going to be a leaf forever. Wow, this is a lot of cuttings. I may leave the bottom one. It's really sticky. I'm actually going to rinse these off really quickly, so give me a minute, I'll be back. I don't want them to stain the leaves permanently. So let me quickly go through with you the leaf anatomy of the cutting. So this is your main stem. The roots are going to appear from below here. And this is the apical bud, the sharp point where the new leaf is going to come from. Usually the leaves or the cuttings with the apical bud is going to put out pretty big leaves. It's going to maybe put out a few small leaves, and then it's going to be this size or even bigger. So usually they're the best cutting, and I'm going to root this in water. However, for the single node cuttings that is not the apical bud, this is what the cutting look like. And I know that you guys are also propagating this without the main stem, just like taking a petiole and a leaf like this. That's not going to put out a new branch. It's going to root for you, and it's going to be a leaf with a root forever, with root forever, but it's never going to put out a branch. So the idea is that when you root this, whether in potting mix or into water, the roots are going to appear from the bottom, and a new shoot or apical bud will appear somewhere along the node of this plant. So yeah. Okay, so I've filled out a few pots with general purpose potting mix. I'm gonna propagate some directly into the potting mix, and some of them I'm going into water first. So let's get started. Okay, so let me experiment something. So this is a cutting with a very woody stem. This is from the base of the plant. So I'm going to cut sort of around it, and let me see. So let me actually get closer to you so you can see. As you can see, this is a woody stem. So what I wanted to do is take off a little bit of that stem woodiness, because the woody part is not going to root. It's actually going to be make it easy for the plant to rot. So we want to take out the woody parts. If I'm off the frame, don't blame me. I'm really trying to not to knife my own fingers live on YouTube for you guys. Yeah, so this is one way that you can encourage roots to appear. At least that's what I saw somewhere. I can't remember. So whoever you are, I'm crediting this to you. Yeah. So take off that. Oh my God, a little bit more. Yeah. There. And now you can root this more readily, because this is going to put out roots easier from here. I actually almost never propagate with rooting hormone, but in this case I will, because this is a very woody stem. And yeah, and I have a rooting hormone that I've had for a year. I don't even know if it's expired yet. I'm just gonna dip it in there. And when I'm done, I'm just going to stick this right into the potting mix. Let me show you what that looks like. How cute. So yeah, I'm just leading the root side down, and then I'm just keeping the top here exposed to air where possible, so it doesn't have any chance of infection. I don't want to let this dry out at all. I can water this every day safely, because terracotta and fast draining potting mix, so I can water this often without overwatering the cutting. So here are all the cuttings that are watered and ready to take off. Hopefully don't die on me. These little cuttings are so cute. So I've got 5 in potting mix, and I really need to be on top of the watering, because the stem is really close to the surface of the potting mix. And as you know, the top part is going to dry out faster than the middle portion, because it's exposed to the air. And in my hands here, I've got 12 cuttings. These are going into water. I don't know where I can find more places where I can put these leaves, but I'll figure a way out, because I'm running out of water propagation station. So I will see you in a few months. I'll give you an update on how these guys are doing. Here's a 1-month update on the cuttings. This is the first one. I actually have it here in artificial light, and it's doing all right. It's put out these, I don't know what these white stuff are, but a lot of the plants with woodier stem tend to do that, and then the roots will come out at some point. So yeah, this is doing well. Let me show you others. Put this back. So yeah, you want to give it a small vessel. Do not give it a big vessel. So actually the reason for today's update is that I actually have one leaf that rotted off. It fell off. However, this is in water. Was in water, I mean. And as you can see, it's doing quite well, surprisingly. And I see a growth point here. I don't know if you can see it ever so slightly. Yeah, right here above where the top tip of my thumb. You see the little green thing there? I suspect that's where the new branch will come out from. So I'm gonna stick this in soil in a little bit, just like stick that in and see what happens. Or I could also do it this way down into the soil. But I see that this is a root that's trying to form. So I think I might actually plant it vertically down and have the top part kind of sticking out of the soil. Here's everybody else. This is a west-facing window, and I have a little bit of grow light here, so I'm cheating a bit. This peperomia is flowering, it's cute. Propagating in water too. So let's pull it up. Oh, this one's doing really well. Yeah, I'm gonna pull them out one by one. So this is 1 month. I'm quite surprised that it will grow so quickly. And again, keep in mind all small vessels, and this one's also in a small vessel, and the water level is so little. This one's not really rooted yet, but I see something coming out of it. Very cute. And this one, oh, nothing's happened with this one yet. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Look at the back. This looks so funky in the back. Give it more time. Or it's possible that out of these three, because this one's closer to the window, maybe it's getting a little bit more light. I'm not sure. And this one's in a beaker. And I actually just moved this here. This did not live here for a while. I moved the vessel. So this is doing interesting. I can't say it's well or not, but something's happening. Let me see. Okay, here is the top cutting. Very little has happened, but there's some action here. Oh, hang on, where am I focusing? Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's very little going on here. This may take a little bit longer. Maybe because this top cutting, while it's getting excellent light, it's focusing its energy on this apical bud. It's trying to push out a new leaf, so it's not really pushing out roots at the moment. And I have one more over here. Oh, I need to top this up. See, the water is low. This one, I can't really take it out with one hand, but let me see if I can see through the glass. Not much has happened. Yeah, I do need to top this up soon. I have one more in here that is doing quite okay. It's got a lot of this white fuzz. If you guys know what this white fuzz is, do let me know, because a lot of my plants that are propagated in water have this. So yeah. Ooh, and there's one more over here actually. This one's doing funky. The leaf is damaged a little bit. I don't know what's happened, but it's doing quite well. So I'm not worried. This leaf will die off anyways. It's just gonna rely on the new growth there. Okay, I'm gonna take you outside to see the ones that are in soil. Here are the ones that are propagated right into soil. I'm losing one leaf, but I don't know if I should be worried here. Yes, Josie, come on. What do you guys want? What do you want? All right. So yeah, they're all doing okay, I guess. This is in bright indirect light. They do get a little bit of direct sunlight in the afternoon, like an hour or two. And here's the parent plant, where the cuttings were made from. New leaf has emerged. Very, very nice. And let me see. I see another. Do you see the little point? Josie, what are you doing? I'm trying to film. Hey, cutie. So yeah, there's another branch. What? You want to be on camera? You want to be on YouTube? Josie, you want to be famous? You want to be famous? Sorry, I digress. There's a little bit of a growth point here, so I may see some branching. So this is what happens to ficus when you cut them up. They will branch out. And this is the other plant. It's doing quite well. It's just continuing to push out new growth. This is the one that we did not propagate. So yeah, I guess I will see you guys in a few more weeks or months for more updates. Welcome to an 8 weeks update since propagation. Let's start with this guy. This one's dead. So this is actually my water propagation area. So this is another one. It's right by the west facing window, so it's getting very bright light. And it's rooted really well. I'm gonna take it out slowly. I haven't checked actually in a while. This is pretty good roots. Look at that one dangling over there, cute. But I don't see any shoots forming yet from here. So it's kind of slow right now. And then I'm gonna show you the others. So I remember counting 12 cuttings. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I lost 4. I remember putting away 1 because it died, but I don't know what happened to the others. Maybe they died too and I just forgot about it. So this one's doing quite okay. This is the top cutting. As you can see, it's rooted really well. We're going to be potting these up today, by the way, because I think 8 weeks is too long in water. I don't want to have it be sitting in water for that long. So all of these that you see now are going to be potted up. And then this one is doing kind of okay-ish, I guess. Again, these guys are getting west-facing window. There's a grow light here pointing directly at them. So they're getting pretty decent bright indirect light with a little bit of direct. This one is just doing okay. And it's alright to leave your propagation vessel a little bit murky. They do like that. It's for their rooting purposes. This one did not root at all. Hello. Let me see. This one is doing kind of okay. Look at how cute the roots are. So none of these water propagates have given me a new bud. This one is rooted really funky. Yeah, so let's look at the other ones that were directly propagated into soil. Actually, let me collect these because we're gonna pot these up. I'm not gonna pot that one up because I think it's dead. So, but the rest are going into potting mix. So I'm counting six of these. Sorry, no, not six, five. 5 of these are going into potting mix. So after I potted them up, I will show you, and then I will wait a few more weeks to update you guys. So these were the ones that were put directly into potting mix from day one. 3 of them have sprouted. Look at how pretty the new growths are. Very cute baby leaves. So they get shaded right now, but as the sun reaches, as the time reaches afternoon, they do get a little bit of direct sunlight because the sun is going this way. So they're getting very, very bright light. This is the one that kind of rotted off. And then I haven't seen any new buds form. Let me just see if I can pull this out. Yeah, this is completely rotted. So this is this is done. This one is so cute. Look at that. It's putting out a new bud. So from this, I can deduce that they actually propagate way better directly into potting mix rather than into water. So for my next plants, I'm going to propagate that one soon. I'm going to do that directly into potting mix. And let me look at the parent plant here from which this was cut from. Very cute. I only see, hang on, I see another bud here. So something else may form here, another shoot. But I only see one so far. It's growing pretty slowly. This was from the old leaf, so I'm not worried about it. It hasn't spread, this fungus attack. So the new leaf seems really perfect. So I'm gonna give it time. It's doing quite well. And I'm gonna wait a few more weeks to show you the update on the ones that we transferred into potting mix from water. So here, the potted up cuttings, I gave them a little bit of slow release fertilizer, a bit of pesticide here, and then I'm just gonna leave them outdoors where they get really bright light and let the rainwater kind of take care of it because they do have a little bit of roots. So this is the parent plant. It grew quite well, it grew a few leaves, and this is where we made the cut. And unfortunately, I think this little point here, it did not put out a new branch. I was hoping it would branch out, but it will in the future, I'm pretty sure. So as you can see, this one node has been used up by this branch, and then this node can still activate and put out a new branch. In fact, there's another node down here that can put out another branch. Usually they do that when they get really old and when the apical bud, let's say I decided to pluck this off, this growth point off, it will focus its energy on some of the nodes below, causing it to branch out. But I'm not gonna do that, of course. So yeah, this is doing quite well, I would say. It's not the fastest growing plant, but I'm patient. So let's look at how the other cuttings are doing. So we're at 11 weeks since our last update. This is taking way too long. It's really testing my patience. Everybody's doing well. I believe everyone survived, but it's just so slow. Let's start with from left to right. This one leaf is put out a little bud here, and then this one is put out a new baby here. This one is doing all right as well, and this one hasn't given me any growth point yet, so I don't know what's up with that, but the leaf looks very healthy, maybe because it's smaller, so it needs a little bit more time to put out something new. And this one's doing all right. It's got 1, 2, 3. Look at how small this one leaf is. This is so cute. Hey, hello. Yeah, and then this is the top cutting. Obviously the top cutting usually is the best one, but in this case, look at how small the new leaves are compared to these two. These two were the ones that we originally propagated with. So this plant did not enjoy being in water propagation. And then finally we have this one that hasn't put out anything yet, but again, the leaf is very much sturdy and healthy. So these guys, they don't really water propagate that well, in my opinion. They are so slow to water propagate. They don't take into soil really well. takes them a while to acclimatize to the potting mix here, which is my general purpose potting mix. So my summary for this propagation is try to not to overwater them. Give them a terracotta pot if where possible, or fast draining potting mix, because the cuttings can rot quite easily. And then definitely go with soil propagation. I wouldn't even bother with water propagation. And I don't know if I mentioned this in my intro video, but you do need a part of the main stem in order for it to root and turn into a full plant like this. If you only have the leaf and the petiole, it's not going to turn into this. I think a lot of us have made that rookie mistake before. Ooh, and I do want to add that the ones that we grew earlier in terracotta pot, they were propagating to soil, were sold, so I cannot show you the updates. But they probably have like 7 or 8 leaves by now, and hopefully have found better homes. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm at Botanist on Instagram. If you want to DM me on any questions regarding plant care and propagations, I'll try my best to get back to you. Meanwhile, do take care and stay safe. I will see you in the next video. Bye!